I am a man of honor, integrity, and promise. I pursue all righteousness. I love my family. I will not put my family in harm's way. There is nothing that will keep me from doing the right thing. I am an ambassador of hope and a man of discipline. I am a man worth following. I am a TYRO.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Cathy.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina. And if you don't know who we are, Ron and I did 15 years in the prison system. Ron doing time on the inside, while the children and I did time on the outside.
And out of our experience, we were able to develop a professional development program called TYRO. And what TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, warrior.
And warrior, what does that mean? What are you warring for? What's worth fighting for? And what isn't worth fighting for is what we really teach and help people discern and understand.
And you know what we want to really help you today is really understand what it means to be a TYRO family fit. Family fit is what we're going to talk about because it's important to understand not only what you're fighting for, but how do you stay healthy? How do you stay active in this role? Because I know guys in prison, you know, there's three things that a man becomes when he goes to prison. You know, I don't know if you know this, honey. Three things. He becomes either.
I think I've heard it before.
You heard it. He either becomes a preacher, right, or a lawyer, and fellas, or a bodybuilder, right? Would you agree with that? Right? And so what are you? What are you becoming while you're in prison? Well, we want to talk about family fit because I want to be a healthy father. You know, do you become a healthy father while you're in prison? And when we talk about healthy, we're talking about a lot of levels of what it means to look like you're healthy. Right?
And so family fitness is so important. When we think about being family fit, we're not just talking about, you know, running or exercising. We're going to describe on this show, and we've dedicated an entire show because it's that important to family fitness. We're going to tell you what it really is, what we mean when we say TYRO Family Fit, why it's important, and lastly, we're going to share how you can actually implement fitness as part of your family routine.
So as I think about family fit, as I think about how we begin to do this and how we really get to the nitty gritty, you know, we first got to be real with ourselves. You know, being healthy mentally, I think is really crucial because had I been healthy mentally, I would not have found myself in a place where I couldn't be taken at my word. You know, and I think we want to talk about that. We want to talk about, you know, what does it take to reinvent yourself to where you can be taken at your word. You find yourself in prison, and the truth is, fellas, you know, like when I got home, I couldn't go get a loan from a bank because I couldn't be taken at my word. I wanted to make sure that everything I was practicing in that little universe called penitentiary, I could implement when I got home with Cathy. So I'm living in a day room. How can I practice those principles in a day room of being fit, being a family, being a father in the day room, and not getting myself in trouble or any of those type of things, and then take those on the outside and make it right, make the environment healthy.
But we're not just talking about mental fitness, we're talking about emotional fitness, we're talking about physical fitness, and even the importance of spiritual fitness. And so stay tuned because we'll be right back and take you on this journey towards family fitness.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina. And today, on today's episode, we are talking about family fitness.
Well, what is family fitness? What does it mean to be a healthy family? And what we're talking about is really having a healthy lifestyle, right?
And so, you know, when we think about healthy, many times we think about, oh, diet and exercise.
No.
But that is, I mean, that's definitely part of it, right? Diet meaning not go on a diet and restrict, meaning eating healthy things.
That's right. That's right. But and then that's on the surface of it, right, guys? Eating healthy thing. You know, in penitentiary, most of everybody's really eating healthy unless you're really eating a lot of Debbie's, right? I think that might be the vice of many men in prison is little Debbie's.
And so oftentimes when we say family fit, you know, we get some pushback and say, oh, our family's really fit. You know what, we do calisthenics every day, or we're running 10 miles or 40 miles. And we're like, okay, well, that's just the surface, because you might be physically fit, but that doesn't mean you're wholly healthy and fit. And so when we talk about what is family fitness, we are talking about physical fitness, because we're talking about eating healthy and being healthy, but we're also talking about emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
And it's important, dads and men that are where you're at, that you begin to lead the role. You begin to become that role model of what it means to be fit. Because most of us, that when we find ourselves in prison, you know, either we were smoking cigarettes, either we were drinking alcohol, and we were putting things in our body that were actually messing up the way we think. We were addicted to things that were causing us to veer left versus to focus with what's in front of us. So talking about having a healthy lifestyle is really important, because it begins right where you're at, fellas. It begins right where you're at in your prison experience. You know, penitentiary, a lot of times people want to look at it as being a mausoleum. You know, a mausoleum is where you what? Bury the dead. But that's not what this is about. It's not a place where you bury the dead. This is going to be your monastery. This is about where you get to reinvent yourself. You get to re-examine your thinking pattern. You get to examine the things that you created in your life that affected or infected those around you. And most of the things that we were doing was poison, and we were poisoning our family around us because of the way we were thinking. And so having a healthy lifestyle, being family fit, is changing the way you think.
And what family fitness is, when we think about, we talked a little bit about what it is. We think about diet, and we think about the things that we're consuming. And so that does mean the things that we're eating, the things that we're drinking, the things that we're not smoking, the things that we are not eating and not drinking. And it's really important when we think about, you know, remember back in grade school when we learned about the 5 food groups and how much to eat.
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. And that is truth. That is really truth. If you really want to help your children be successful in school, then it's important to understand what fitness is. And fitness means being mentally alert, being emotionally healthy, and being physically healthy to be prepared to meet the demands of the day.
What it is not is somebody who's on the phone all the time and demanding, or is trying to maintain control of something that you have no control over. Right now, dads and husbands and men who are where you're at, man, that's a hard one, because being healthy is sometimes even being healthy enough to let go.
And we
Right.
see a lot of people, a lot of families, that they're healthy in one area, but they determine that that's enough. It's enough for us to be healthy emotionally. We're healthy emotionally, but maybe their mental thinking patterns are wrong or unhealthy, and their eating habits are unhealthy, and then that affects or infects their family as a whole. And now we know it's hard. We know firsthand, because we are absolutely not perfect. And so we struggle with healthy eating all the time, because I tell you what, I love sugar. I love sugar.
Well, you know what? I love sugar too. And so, but what we do is we got to find a balance, you know. And when I was talking about letting go, you know, I remember when I was in prison and I being unhealthy when I first got locked up, I was trying to still call the shots. I was still trying to control your life and the kids' life in every place of your life.
And the truth is, like, I mean, just to put it out there, we were unhealthy all the way around. And that meant that we were eating unhealthy, we were not physically active. Ron was rapidly becoming more and more overweight because feeling depressed, and the more overweight he was, the more depressed he was.
Well, and also, you know, the more drinking I was doing, the more cigarettes I was smoking, and everything, my whole lifestyle, even our relationship, was really
unhealthy.
it was unhealthy, and not only did
Unfit.
we see it and we knew it, those around us saw it. You know, and that's something else too that we can talk about later.
As you begin to start thinking in healthy ways, it's important to also understand that you've got to be emotionally healthy, and you have to also think about what you're eating and whether or not you're exercising. And we're not talking about running a marathon here. We're talking about making sure that you are incorporating movement every day.
You know, what we're talking about, what is it? You know, it's having a healthy lifestyle that's mentally, right? How do you think? When you get up in the morning, what is the first thing you think about? Before you go to bed at night, what's the first thing you think about? That would dictate to you if you're thinking in a healthy pattern, if you're in a healthy way. You know, what's the first thing you think about when you wake up? What's the last thing you think about when you wake up?
Are your emotions feeding you information so that you can make rational decisions, or are your emotions dictating your reactions? So that's really what we're talking about when we talk about having a fit family, talking about having a healthy family. We're talking about physically, emotionally, and mentally.
So when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation about, family fit. What does it mean to be family fit? But now we're going to talk about why. Why is this important in your life? So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Cathy.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we're talking about TYRO Family Fit. What does it mean to be a TYRO family that is fit?
That's right.
Fit, baby.
That's right. And part of that is training. When we think about, we talked a little bit about what does it mean. We talked about emotional, mental, and physical fitness or health. That's what we're talking about. But now we really want to talk about why. Why does it even matter? Why is it important?
We talk about when a man goes to prison, he's doing a bit. B-I-T. And a lot of times we say that in a negative connotation. I'm doing a bit. I'm going to do this time because this time ain't going to do me. And we understand that we want to be able to do the time because we don't want the time to do us, do ourselves. But the thing about it is, but if you're doing a bit, the negative connotation behind that is if you want a horse, you put a bit in a horse's mouth. And you control that horse so that if the horse is unruly, if the horse is not listening, all you do is pull back on the reins. And we've talked about this in previous shows, that it's to discipline and to control the horse. The man on top, the rider on top, and he's controlling the horse. Well, now here's a man in prison. And guess what? We're doing a bit. Somebody's controlling us. But if we continue to look at this and not change the way we think, right? Why is it important to be healthy, to be a family that's fit? Because if you can change the way you think and flip this negative connotation to something positive, B-I-T, basic individual training. Why is it important to be a fit family, despite the circumstances that you're living right now?
And so the purpose of that fitness is to prepare each member of your family for the marathon that they're going to be running. And the marathon that we're each running is our life, across a lifetime. And so what we don't want to do, especially for our children, dads, you have such a great impact on your children's behavior. So when you begin to start working out, you begin to start eating right, you begin to start thinking right, you begin to start managing your own emotions, it affects your family in a positive way because that influence permeates your family. I know when Ron was in prison and he was eating bad and he was heavy and he kind of like getting really kind of sluggish. That's right. And so that affected us. And so we were like, oh well, we go home, we sit in front of the TV, eat junk food all the time. Then I began to see a transformation happen in Ron. He began to be working out. He was more cautious about what he was eating. He was like, okay, well, I already had junk for breakfast, so on visit, I'm not really going to eat a lot of junk today because I ate a lot of junk and I'm really trying to minimize that. It began to influence me. It began to make me think about the food choices I was making. It began to influence our children. Well,
you know what? What's really exciting about today, both our sons are physically fit. They're conscious of what they take in. They don't drink. They don't get high, and they really practice this lifestyle.
They work out. They make sure that they have plenty of physical activity in their day.
And I look back at that, and when I was in prison, and I was doing 2-a-days, right, guys? We're doing 2-a-days, and I'm coming out, and I'm buff and all that. Now, But the exciting thing is, I can see
you got these guns.
I can muscle memory is what it is. But I can see the influence or the inspiration that I was able to create even back then. To see my children, my grown men who are sons now, my sons who are grown men now, see the impact that that has on their life today.
And that's across the board. Studies show that actually, dad, you set the tone for your children's physical fitness. So if dad is overweight and dad is not eating right, then his kids are going to follow that. If dad is active and fit, then your kids are going to follow that. The same thing is true for mental and emotional. So we're not just talking about, okay, exercise, which we just said was super important, but also now, what are your thinking patterns? What are you teaching your children? You're teaching your children to think negatively all the time. The world is out to get us. We're never going to be successful anyway. There's a catastrophe waiting around. Everything just happens to us. Or are you teaching your children that, you know what, we have the power and the ability to take a hold of our own destiny? Because that's fit and healthy way of thinking.
You know, we teach our children that, and this is what really, because it breeds confidence in them, that we live in the greatest country in the world, right? That this country loves an underdog. You know, with living with the label, incarcerated, formerly convicted, all that type of stuff, you know, right? And that's something that our children had to live with, that label, but really instilling in them and empowering them to say, you know what, this doesn't define who you are. You know, our past as a family, that journey that we had to take from me being in prison, from mom being on welfare and all these type of things that have taken place, we say our past does not define who we are, but it can qualify us for something greater if we let it. And really constantly instilling that into our children, our two sons and our daughter, constantly putting that in there, and our daughter-in-laws and our grandchildren, constantly telling them, listen, you can create the environment you want to live in. You can create the kingdom you want to build. You can create, and we constantly tell them, you can dream it, you can achieve it. You can achieve it, you can be it. And we're constantly telling them over and over again, hearing this mantra that's being said over and over again from our grandchildren, and then we hear reports from them, grandpa or grandma, you know, we're talking about our grandkids, they say, guess what we did today? You know, and we know that it's because we're constantly feeding them and empowering them that if they can see it, they can do it.
And we know it's not easy. I mean, fitness is not easy. It requires effort and commitment and discipline, but it is worth it. And when we begin to exemplify those things, and we are training for the marathon of life, and then we are teaching our children to be trained for the marathon of life, then we're teaching them the core principles that hard work equals profit. That if they want to do well, they want to be healthy, that it's going to require effort and hard work, but the end result is worth it.
And we tell them constantly, look, this isn't going to be easy, but it's worth it. You know, confidence is powerful, because one of the things that society will put on our kids, gentlemen, is they're going to downplay them. They're going to constantly remind them of their past. They're going to remind them where you came from. They're going to remind them that, you know what, that nobody wants you. But I tell you what, eventually, you might not get invited to all the reindeer games, but eventually you're going to create your own reindeer games, and people will come around you. So this breeds confidence, it breeds inspiration, it brings dreaming. Why is it important? Because your family is counting on you, Dad, to be that fit dad, that crime fighter, that hero in their lives.
So stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to tell you how to instill a family fitness routine for your family. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Cathy.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we're talking about TYRO Family Fit. What does it mean to have a family that is fit and physically fit, mentally fit, emotionally fit, spiritually fit?
And why is that even important? Is what we just talked about.
Man, that's a workout.
Yes, it is. And now what we want to do is we want to share with you tips, things that you can do right now from where you are to help your family become fit.
You know, the first thing we want to talk about is you got to talk about it. You got to talk about the struggles that you're having and a visit. You know, we don't want to keep this facade keep going. You know, like I remember when Cathy and the boys would come to see me and we would want to pretend that everything is okay, that this visit is normal and that we're healthy and everybody else around us is unhealthy. Well, see, that's a lie. That's not true.
And when Ron first went to prison, I was so devastated. I wasn't even thinking about cooking healthy meals for my family. I was just thinking about, okay, get through the day, get through the day. We were eating so much junk. And I remember at a visit that Ron looked at me and he said, you know what, Cathy, the boys aren't looking very healthy. What are you guys eating? And at first I was a little bit offended and taken aback. Like, what do you mean?
No,
what are we
not
eating?
a little bit. No,
a lot,
no,
right.
a lot.
Like, well, you're not there, and you know, I'm doing the best I can. But you know what? On the way home, I began thinking, you know what? We are eating a lot of junk food. I am doing the quickest, easiest meals I can get, throwing it on the table so that I don't have to exert much effort because I am emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted from the pain of the separation, the grief of Ron going to prison.
But what happens to us guys is that we're separated from that lifestyle. We're separated from that world of fast food, fast life, right? We're now in timeout, right? Big people timeout. Everything is stopped, and our meals are really limited to us. And the truth is, they're actually healthy meals, and we begin to detox. Whoa. We begin to detox from all that poison that we were putting in from ugly TV, ugly movies, ugly food, ugly magazines. You know what I'm talking about? Just ugliness all around us because you are what you eat. If you constantly eat ugly, you become ugly and you produce ugly. Right?
So as Ron, the first thing he did was really talk to me about it. And okay, yeah, was I offended? Absolutely, I was offended. But was it beneficial? Did it help me make healthier choices so that my children were healthy and strong? Absolutely it did. And so if he would have just said, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you feeding the kids? I would not have been able to think about it and act differently. But instead he was like, hey, you know, how's it going? And what are you doing? And how can I help you do something different? And it really inspired me to want to make healthy meals and to think about what we were eating instead of just throwing food on the table.
Now, fellas, I'm going to tell you this. You don't want to do what I did, right? I remember in one visit, now I had been really working out, and I've been like in 2-3 years into my workout regimen, and I'm doing 2-a-days, and I'm having a good time, and really things started changing, right? I'm bench pressing 2 1/4, and things are really excited about what we're doing in there. I come out and visit, and at this particular penitentiary, they were allowing us, because it was so hot, to wear t-shirts. Where I worked at OPI, and I took the shirt, where we made the shirts, and I took the t-shirt, and I serged the t-shirt to fit my, right, the V, and so I went out to the visit, rolled sleeves, knocked out 100 pushes before the visit, went out there and said, what's up, right? Was not the thing to do, right?
So number 2, because number 1 is talk about it. Number 2 is actually be the example. But being the example doesn't mean strutting and showing off and, you know, picking up your muscles
and coming out like you're in a health spa and I'm on a vacation. I'm on an island and I'm having vacation.
Right. Well, we're out here and we're just like working ourselves to death. But the right thing to do is exemplify that and talk about, yeah, you know, I've been working out and I've been, you know, really watching what I eat and I've been really conscious and intentional.
And not only that, I'm reading great novels. I'm reading great biographies. I'm starting to write. I'm starting to really understand things. I'm getting myself enmeshed in learning.
So we're
right?
watching this happen. First, we talk about it, and he's talking to us. And secondly, we're watching him exemplify this, watching him manage his own emotions. Actually, the things that are coming out of his mouth, we're watching his thinking patterns change, right? So instead of everything being negative, everything is positive. Everything's about problem solving, not problem creating or just pointing fingers. But instead, how do we address this? And lastly was really eating differently and actually putting physical exercise behind it. So as we're watching this, we're becoming inspired to do it ourselves.
So, but I want to show you how this happened is I started surrounding myself with guys who were reading all the time, guys who were physically active, guys who were getting up in the morning and hitting the weight room and hitting the track. and then beginning their day with a physical activity, and then but never stopping there, because then they would go to the library and maybe get a good book, or begin reading and writing a book and studying. So surrounding myself with men who were constantly bettering themselves, but not only that, these men that I was surrounding myself with, they were instilling in me and showing me things that I didn't know about, that I needed to learn, so that I can impart that to Cathy and the boys. Because now in prison, if you're not rehabilitating yourself, you become stagnant. You become like water that's stilled, where nothing but mosquitoes are going to be bred in that water.
So as you're becoming the example, you are actually earning the right to then help your family develop their own plan. Because if you're not the example and you're just talking about it, then you haven't earned the right to help them develop their own plan. So the third thing, we talked about first, talk about it. Second, exemplify it or earn the right to help them. Number three, actually help them develop a plan. And you will find that your family members will come to you and say, hey, can you help me? I want to think differently. You know what? I want to be able to manage my emotions, or I want to be stronger.
And then why that happens is because now you become the expert, because you're the one who's incarcerated, but all of a sudden they see you as being healthy because you are exemplifying health. You're not being poisoned with the things of the world. You're really stopping things that are hindering you, and now you're giving out freely what you've learned. You're not forcing it on people. You're not a dictator anymore. You're becoming a healthy man of honor, a man worth following, a TYRO.
So when we come back, we're going to put it all together with some closing words. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we've been talking about TYRO Fit. We've been talking about what it means to have a family that is really fit and healthy.
And defining what that really means. Not just working out, not just eating right, but thinking right? And managing our emotions in a healthy way.
You know, as I came home, and I'm still home, and I'm working out and stuff like that, I encourage my wife, Cathy, and my daughter to work out with me. But sometimes, if I'm in the zone, I'm not that fun to be around when I'm working out, right? Because I don't want to talk, I don't want to dance, I want to get the workout in, and I'm focused, right?
Right. But he created an atmosphere. He learned that, you know what, being fit isn't just about, getting in there and being super serious, but actually we can create a lot of family fun around being fit. And that means playing games, playing sports. That means
playing kickball, playing softball, playing frisbee.
Playing
there's a
tennis.
lot of activities that we've learned to do since I've been home, as far as physical activity that all the family can enjoy. When the family comes over, you know what? We're not going to hit the weight room. We're going to hit the yard.
That's right. So when we think about family fitness, we also think about what we're eating, but also how we're thinking. And how we're thinking comes out, how the world knows what I'm thinking is what comes out my mouth. And then managing our emotions and being emotionally fit and healthy means that I'm letting my emotions feed me information so I can make the right decision, not letting my emotions rule what I do.
Listen, gentlemen, your family's counting on you to be the example. We're not saying this is going to be easy, because if you've been practicing something for a long time, it's become permanent in your life. You've been practicing letting somebody else wake you up in the morning, that's probably permanent in your life. If you've been practicing not brushing your teeth in the morning when you get up before you go to chow hall, well, that's probably something permanent in your life. And you got to begin. Don't despise small beginnings. Your family is counting on you to lead the charge. Your family is counting on you to be emotionally fit. Because I promise you, and I guarantee you that every one of us who were incarcerated, and those of you who are still incarcerated, had this thing called, we were good at throwing temper tantrums. We were good about, it's all about me. But as you begin to change the way you think and you begin to live for others and you begin to work out physically, you know, when you drop down and started doing 5 sets of 5 push-ups, right?
Oh,
A set, right?
1 set of 1
Okay,
push-up,
and that'll
right?
take one,
That's
and then
the
you
truth.
evolved. But as you're feeling better about yourself, because what this breeds is confidence as a man, right? And all of us as men,
Confidence as a woman.
man, I'm telling you, and it's contagious, because that's what this brings, contagious of wanting to learn and get better.
Right. So as Ron began to really prepare for this long marathon across a lifetime, he's inspired his children and his family to do the same thing so that they can perform well in school, so that they can face every obstacle and overcome it, so that they'll be able to manage conflict and become successful. That's what you're setting your family up for when you decide to be fit, is you're setting your children up for a lifetime of success.
So don't give up trying. Don't give up the ship. Don't throw in the towel yet, man. Come on, it's not over yet. As long as you got breath, you can do it. You can finish this race. People are counting on you, Dad.
Don't give up.
Don't give up,
Don't
man.
start the race and throw in the towel.
Man,
Keep going.
I tell you what, the first time I got up on that pull-up bar, I couldn't do one, but I didn't give up. I got back up there and did it again, so I was able to do 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. Don't give up.
So we hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we just want to thank you for letting us be part of your journey.
So until next time, always remember, I'm Ron Tiarina.
I'm Kathy Tiarina.
And we are rooting for you.
I am a man of honor.
I am a man of integrity.
I am a man of faith. I am the antidote.
I am a man of discipline. I am a leader.
I am strong.
I am a man worth following.
I am a TYRO.